So the first book is Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. So this isn't really like a winter book or an autumn book, but this came out on October 1st. Was it October 1st? Yeah, it was October 1st. I have started it, I'm going to be honest. This is like my most anticipated read this year. I read Better Than the Movies back in like February and I fell in love with it. Like, I absolutely loved that book. So I've been so excited for this. And so far I'm enjoying it. It's not what I expected, but I am enjoying it anyway. So then I have another book that came out on the 1st of October, and that's Frida McFadden's new book, The Boyfriend. I love Frida McFadden's work. I've read so many of her books this year. I've read the Housemaid series, all 3 of them. I read The Perfect Son. Yeah, The Perfect Son last month. I've read The Locked Door, The Co-Worker. I've read loads and I absolutely love her writing. She's so good at thrillers. They're so fast-paced, they're easy to read, short chapters, and they're not extremely long. She's definitely one of my favourite authors this year, and yeah, I'm really excited to read this. Because it is thriller season, I also have 2 more Frida McFadden books here. I've got Never Lie, which I've heard a lot of people say is like one of her best books. So I'm really excited to give that a try. I think it's like a psychological thriller. And then The Inmate as well, which I've heard a lot of people also seem to really like. Then I have a book by Lisa Jewell. She's another like thriller mystery sort of writer that I absolutely love. So what books have I read of hers? None of This Is True. I read that this year and I did enjoy it. It kind of gave like Verity vibes and I absolutely loved Verity, so yeah, I did enjoy it. And then I also read last year, I think this was, I read The Family Upstairs and The Family Remains, which again were also great. So I've got The Night She Disappeared here, which I think is going to be a very autumn winter kind of vibe, so I'm excited to read this. So Claire Douglas now. I've only read one of her books, which was The Girls That Disappeared, but her thrillers are like scary as well. Like, she has you on edge. Like, I was reading that and I was on edge. So I've got Local Girl Missing. Now this technically isn't on my TBR because I have already read this month. This is my first book of October. I haven't finished any others yet because we've only just started October, but like, this book had me on edge. So the way it's written, it's like she's talking to you and you're the character that's gone missing essentially. Like, it's really weird, but it's really creepy as well. Like, she does loads of twists in there and they all make sense in the end, but she kind of brings like supernatural elements into it. But right, I'm not going to spoil her writing, but I really like this book. But I just talk about this one because I did really enjoy it. But I have 2 other Claire Douglas books here. I've got The Woman Who Lied and The Sisters, so I'm really excited to give them a read. I love a thriller. Okay, then I have this book by Lucy Clark called The Hike. I bought this ages ago, like months ago, in the works. It's basically about this group who go sort of on a hike to this mountain, and a woman went missing there a year ago. There's all these like secrets or something. So like the last sentence says someone who'd do anything to keep their secrets buried. So obviously there's some sort of mystery going on in here. Then I have The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I also have 5 Survive, but I am currently reading that at work, so that I've left that in work. I love Holly Jackson's writing. I absolutely adored the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I read that back in like April, May, and I was obsessed with it. Like, I couldn't put it down. I felt empty when I finished that series. Like, I needed more books. I really want more books in that series because I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this. This book I've wanted for so long, so long. It's Karen Slaughter, Pretty Girls. I've been seeing this all over BookTok for so long, and it took me ages to find this, but I eventually did. I think I got it from the Waterstones in like Birmingham because it was the only store I could find it in, but I hadn't saw it in like Liverpool or London. It was quite strange. But and then I have this book. It's called 14 Days and it's like a collaborative book. I don't actually know what this is about or anything. I just saw a lot of promo about this when it first came out, which was back in like February, so I just picked it up because I was intrigued with all this promo. Then we have 2 Ashley Poston books. I've got the 7-Year Slip, which I've heard so many good things about, and I am so excited to read this. So I really hope it's good because everyone just talks about how amazing it is. And I feel like this is the perfect time of year to read it because apparently there's some sort of like supernatural type of elements to her stories. So then we have a novel love story, and the lady in my local Waterstones actually recommended this to me. So I thought I'd get it and I'm hoping it's good. Again, I think there's like supernatural type of elements to it. So perfect for this time of year, really. Then I picked up The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers, and I think this is like a fantasy. It looks so beautiful. Like that cover is absolutely stunning, and then look at that. I love this. When I saw the book, I didn't even need to read about it. I was like, that book just needs to come home with me. It's beautiful. I think it's a fantasy. Yeah, it's about like magic and monsters, so I feel like this will be perfect again for this time of year, and I am very excited to read this. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet that hasn't read Fourth Wing yet, and I don't know why I haven't. But this time of year, perfect to read a book like this, so I am very excited to read this. I absolutely love the paperback cover. I think I prefer this over the hardback. Like, it's just so beautiful. But I am really excited to read this. I've heard so many amazing reviews. Like, everyone loves it. Everyone that's read it raves about it. I don't think I've really heard any negative reviews, and if I have, it's minimal. I've heard negative reviews of Iron Flame, I think, which is the 2nd book in the series, but I've not really heard anything negative about Fourth Wing, so I'm very, very excited to read this. And I feel like this is just perfect for like cozy season, you know. It's quite big. It's not huge, but it is quite a thick book. Let's just sit down and read on a really rainy Sunday. What could be better than that? Then we have Rebecca. I feel like this is perfect as well for this time of year. I don't fully know what it's about, but I know that it is kind of considered a gothic sort of text. And I also heard Taylor Swift say that she based Tolerate It on this book after reading it. So I had to get it. I had to pick this up. Tolerate It is one of my favourite songs. So I feel like if the song is based on this book, surely it's got to be amazing. So, and then I have The Book of Secrets by Anna Mazzola, maybe. Now I saw this in my local bookstore, and just look at it. Like, this just screams awesome. I feel like this book, like the cover, everything, just, it's so awesome. It's about like potions and things like that, so I'm really excited to read this. And again, it's quite short, really. Like, look how short that is. It's also a floppy book. I absolutely love floppy books. If you know, you know. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on my October TBR. First 2 books on my TBR. Nothing like the movies. The Boyfriend. Definitely reading them ASAP. Then these are books that are on my October TBR now that I haven't yet mentioned. So we've got Let's Split Up by Bill Wood. My nail tech actually recommended this to me, and I'm so excited to read it. I mean, first of all, that looks so fun. I got it in the works. I think it was like £5, and she said that it's a mix between Scooby-Doo and Scream. I love the Scream movies. I love a bit of Scooby-Doo, so perfect. It's basically like a YA thriller, I think. So then we have The Last House on Needless Street. This is a horror. I've not really read horror before, so I am slightly scared, but I feel like this is going to be amazing. I went to her book signing. Let me see. I'd never been to a book signing before. That was the first time. This was like, was it last year? No, I think this was like 2022. And I've still not read it yet because I am a little bit scared, but I'm making it my mission to try and read it this month. So, fingers crossed I can get through it. I don't know, because I've not read a horror before, I don't know how like scary it's going to be. I don't know what the details are going to be like and the descriptions and things like that. Yeah, I don't know, because like I read a thriller and some of the thrillers terrify me. So if a thriller scares me, a horror, it's going to terrify me, isn't it? But I also love a horror movie, so yeah. Then we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. I'm really excited to read these. I bought this book back in like February and refused to read it until now, because how can you read this in February? Like this is an October book. And I feel like this is giving like October, November vibe. So I don't know if I'm necessarily going to read it this month, but if not, I'll definitely read it next month. But I'm so excited. They just look like so cute. Small town romance, which I absolutely love. So I'm really excited. And then I've got a few witchy books here. Anything, absolutely anything to do with a witch, sign me up. I love stuff like that. Love it so much. Find it so interesting, so intriguing. If anyone has any books that are like, but about like Salem, about like the Salem witch trials, things like that, let me know any recommendations, because I'd love to read books about that. I should probably look into it really, but if you've read any to do with yeah, the Salem witch trials, let me know, because I just find it all so fascinating. So we've got The Witch is Back by Sophie H. Morgan, which just seems like a fun romance. She's a witch. Yeah, excited for this. And then we've got The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I'm so excited to read this. So excited to read this. When I've been on Book Talk recently, this has been coming up on all of the like October, Halloween, autumn books. Just looking at it, it's just giving like cozy vibes, like cozy reads. I'm so here for it. And, like even the back with the little leaves and the candles. Yeah, I can't wait to read this. Last book is The Crimson Moth, and beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. Like, look at that. I am very excited to read this. I've heard so many good things on TikTok about this. Yeah, I think this might, after Nothing Like the Movies, this could be my next read. Yeah, so they're all the books on my October TBR, and then books that I really want to read this autumn, winter. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought, and let me know if you have any recommendations for me to read this winter. It's the best time to read. I love this time of year for reading. Bye guys.